This is starting in 30 seconds, so you've got just enough time to grab yourself a pen and some paper and get comfortable. This is the last lesson in the series. All of the other lessons are still available up on the Pearson UK Learning channel. 2 on biology, 2 on chemistry, and 2 on physics, covering drawing skills in chemistry, math skills in physics, and in this lesson, long answer questions. Hey guys, Prim has decided to join us for this lesson, so hopefully she won't cause too much trouble. Will you? She's a bit of a troublemaker. This is our last lesson together, so we're going to be looking at energy production. The different ways that electricity can be produced, the advantages and the disadvantages of all of these. Then we're going to be looking at the difference between renewable and non-renewable energy, and then the exam question at the end is going to be focusing your skills for working out how to get marks in a 6-mark answer, so an extended response question. We're going to be looking at the differences between the command words, so let's go. There are a wide range of ways that energy is produced. For each of these, you need to know the advantages, the disadvantages of this type of energy production, and how it works. So, how electricity can be produced from fossil fuels, from nuclear fuels, from biofuel, from wind, via hydroelectricity, by the tides, and then finally by the sun. We are going to go over all of these individually, so all the advantages, all the disadvantages, and how they actually work. And then at the end, we're going to be looking at structuring this into an exam question. Because answering questions of this type is more than just knowing all the facts. There is exam technique as well. Over the next few slides, I'm going to try and stick with the colour coding. A major way we produce energy is by burning fossil fuels. These are coal, oil, or natural gas. They can be used to generate energy. This is an established technology. We already have it in place working well in this country, and it has a quick start-up time. And all of the fossil fuels are easy to store. This releases large amounts of pollution. The carbon dioxide that is released contributes to climate change. And the sulfur dioxide that is released contributes to acid rain. Both climate change and acid rain are big problems. Fossil fuels are finite, which means they are non-renewable resources, meaning they will eventually run out. We cannot continuously rely on burning fossil fuels for our energy production because they are not going to be around forever. Another way we can generate energy is by nuclear fuel. From the energy stored in the nucleus, which can be released, one advantage is there is a high concentration of energy stored in a small volume. It doesn't release polluting gases. However, the disadvantages include that the nuclear waste remains radioactive for a long period of time. This then needs to be stored safely and disposed of. This is a very expensive process. Any potential nuclear accidents are very dangerous. Nuclear accidents only happen occasionally, but can have devastating effects. Nuclear power plants can cost more to build and then decommission than a fossil-fueled power plant. And nuclear power is a finite resource, as we need nuclear fuel to power it. We need the atoms with the energy stored in the nucleus. These are dug up from the ground, and there are only a finite number of these. Biofuels can also be used to produce energy. These are animal waste products, or plant products. Some of these waste parts of plants can't be used for food, However, some plants are grown specifically to be used as a biofuel. These can be burnt in a similar way to fossil fuels. The advantages are that they can be considered to be carbon neutral when they are burnt, as they only release the carbon that was taken in during growth. However, since energy is needed to grow and harvest these, we can't say it is 100% carbon neutral. This is a renewable resource. We can grow plants over and over again. However, it is taking food out of circulation, food that could potentially be used to feed people that are going hungry. And the land that is used for growing the crops could be used for other things, such as growing food to feed people or housing. Wind can be used to produce energy. Wind will turn the blades on a wind turbine. And this generates the electricity. One advantage is that there are no polluting gases in this. It is renewable. We are not going to run out of wind. Amongst the disadvantages are that some people do not like the way it looks. They think it is visual pollution. Some people think it spoils the landscape. Large numbers of wind turbines are needed to generate a significant amount of energy, and it only works when it is windy. But it can't be too windy. It has to be the right windy. Because large numbers are needed, the wind farms are generally located in large areas on top of hills in the countryside. This is one of the reasons people object to them, because they think it spoils the view. Hydro means water, so hydroelectricity is generating electricity with falling water. The falling water will turn the turbines and generate the electricity. This water can be stored in dams. Hydroelectric plants can be turned on and off as needed. The flow of the water can be started and stopped when electricity is needed. A reservoir at the top where the water is stored can be used as an attraction. It can be used as an animal habitat, or it can be used as sporting facilities. This is a renewable form of energy. Once the water has fallen to the bottom, it can be pumped back up to the top. However, in producing the dams for hydroelectric power plants, we could see a loss of habitat, a loss of homes, loss of communities when the dam or the reservoir is being built. This is only going to work in certain locations. You need a large area where the dam can be built, where the water can be stored, and you need somewhere for the water to fall down. Some people also dislike the way it looks, saying that dams are visual pollution. Another way that water can be used to generate electricity is with the tides. Turbines can be placed in large dams. Which are positioned across a river estuary. These turbines will be turned by the tides as the water flows in and out. An advantage is that there is no polluting gas released from these. It is also a renewable energy source. And the tides go in and out at predictable times, so you know when you are going to get electricity being produced. However, while it is predictable, it is not continuous, so it does not happen all the time, and it is not on demand. There are not many suitable locations around, as it has to be at the mouth of a river, and that has to be wide enough to contain the dam. It could have negative impacts on the local habitats. So on the local animal and plant life that live in the area. The sun or solar power can also be used. Solar cells can convert solar energy from the sun into electricity. With this, there are no polluting gases released and it is renewable. The sun isn't going away anytime soon. However, it is not consistent. It is not always there, not the whole time, and we can't turn it on and off. Large solar farms are needed to produce the amount of energy we need. We have talked about renewable and non-renewable sources, but you need to be able to talk about these a little bit more carefully. Renewable sources are not going to run out. They are infinite, whereas non-renewable energy sources are finite. They will run out. Renewable energy sources are increasing in popularity. They are used more and more, whereas non-renewable sources are not a long-term solution as they are going to run out. Now, the difference between renewable and non-renewable is not to be confused with pollution, not to be confused with causing climate change. While they often overlap, they are not exactly the same. Because nuclear energy is non-renewable, but it is also non-polluting. It does not contribute to climate change. You can see that over time the usage in coal is decreasing, as is the usage of oil. Natural gas popularity isn't changing too much, whereas nuclear power is increasingly popular. And we can see other sources are getting more and more popular. If we now look at the use in renewable energy sources, you will see each of them is increasing. Some of them are more recent than others. For example, hydroelectric power has been used for a while, but solar power has only recently become popular as the technology has developed, and biofuels have been around for a long time. There are 3 common exam command words that you will see: describe, explain, and evaluate, because they are very different. Now, the first thing I want you to do when we are looking at answering long answer questions is get those highlighters out and highlight the command word so that you can see it. It is there and obvious for you. And that will tell you how to answer the question. Describe is what something looks like. Explain is why does it look like that. And evaluate is the good things, the bad things, your opinion about that thing, and then the reason for your opinion. So we're going to do something that I love doing in class, because when you do it in year 7, everyone's super enthusiastic about it. They can't get enough of it, absolutely love it. And by the time we get to year 11, you all look at me like I'm a massive weirdo, because why would I subject myself to this publicly? But we're going to talk about my outfit. We're going to describe my outfit, we're going to explain my outfit, and then the bit that everyone questions why I do this, we're going to evaluate my outfit. And then what I want you to see is, just by changing the one command word at the beginning, how we actually get very, very different answers. So first of all, check I'm not running over the prim as I move backwards. Describe my outfit. I'm wearing black jeans and a grey jumper. So that was describe my outfit. Explain my outfit. I'm wearing black jeans and a light grey jumper because it's summer, but it is a tiny little bit chilly at the moment. I know, crazy. So that's an explanation of my outfit. Completely different answers. And you can see how if I wrote the describe answer for an explain question, well, I haven't answered the question, I haven't explained it, I've described it, so I wouldn't get any marks for it. Now, the bit that everyone loves, and it generally takes quite a brave year 11 to actually stand up and evaluate their teacher's outfit in front of the whole class, because I don't know what they're going to say and they don't know how I'm going to react to what they say. So evaluate my outfit. The good things about my outfit is, yeah, it's quite a nice loose jumper, it's quite comfy. The bad things about my outfit, it's not very, oh no, it does get a bit interesting. It's only a tiny bit interesting, it's a bit boring, it's a bit drab. Evaluate my outfit. So we've done the good things, we've done the bad things. My opinion, I quite like my outfit because it's comfortable. Now, without the I think because bit at the end, all you've done is describe the advantages and the disadvantages. You haven't fully answered the question. So if you want to get full marks on an evaluate question, you've got to evaluate it. You've got to give your opinion and a reason for your opinion. So for this question, we are going to evaluate using nuclear power to generate electricity. Which means you need to give good points, you need to give bad points, and you need to give an opinion which is justified. So give the reason for your opinion. And those last two bits, your opinion and the reason for your opinion, are essential for getting the top marks in this style of question. Would be a 6-mark question, although the answer I'm going to give is much longer than that, and I'm going to give you 3 minutes to try and do this yourself. In exams, we generally want you to work at a mark per minute, but for these longer style questions, I always think it is worth spending some time planning to make sure you don't miss out important bits. So here is my planning grid. I'm just going to quickly mark down this. It could be on the back of the exam paper or a page that isn't going to get marked. And you don't need to write in full sentences for your planning, just scribble down some notes. Now, if you were going to do an advantages and disadvantages question comparing two different things, I would suggest making a grid and then quickly noting things down. But in each box, aim to have two different things. Or for an evaluate question with just good things and bad things, make sure you've got 3 different things in each. Now, this is what our actual answer is going to look like. This is just our planning, but by planning this, it makes sure you've got an even spread of everything. Because if in a question you just focused on the good bits, or if you were comparing the advantages and disadvantages of solar power to nuclear energy, and you only talked about the advantages, or you only talked about solar power, then you're not answering the whole question and you're not going to have access to the whole range of marks. By spending a minute of your time in the exam planning things out will make sure that you've got even coverage of all of the points. Evaluate using nuclear energy. On this slide, we are just going to go over the good bits. The advantages of it. However, I'm going to write a lot here. If you just wrote this for your answer, you wouldn't be answering the whole question because it wouldn't be balanced. First good bit is that it produces a large amount of electricity. It doesn't produce many because there will always be some carbon dioxide emissions. It doesn't contribute to climate change. It doesn't contribute much sulfur dioxide to the atmosphere. It will a little bit because turning lights on, heating the place will use electricity, which will probably be made somewhere else, which will contribute. But it does not contribute on the whole to acid rain. Nuclear power is generally pretty safe. Only a small amount of nuclear fuel is needed. It is a very reliable supply of energy. And it gives a country energy security. It reduces the reliance on other countries to provide fossil fuels, which can be used to generate electricity. And it will conserve fossil fuel supplies for use in other things like plastics. or petrol. Now we're going to look at the bad bits or the disadvantages of using nuclear power. Again, for this you need to have a balanced overall argument. You can't just focus on the good bits or just the bad bits. It produces radioactive waste. And radioactivity can cause mutations. It is non-renewable. The radioactive waste is difficult to transport. It is difficult to store radioactive waste. Nuclear accidents do occur and they can pollute a wide area for a long period of time. Mining and processing the fuel. Produces a large amount of carbon dioxide. Nuclear power plants can be a target for terrorist attacks. And there can be a negative public perception of nuclear power. Now, to end your question, having written down good parts and bad parts, you need to give your opinion. I think nuclear power is a good thing or a bad thing, and it doesn't really matter what you say, as long as you can back it up and justify it reasonably. People always worry about this because they're worried that they're going to get the wrong answer. But as long as your answer, your justification matches your answer and it is coherent, you will get the marks for it. The examiner is not going to come and track you down and check that you actually believe truly in your heart that nuclear power is a good or a bad thing. This may not be something you really ever considered before, but give a reasoned answer. There we go, guys. That is the end of today's lesson. We have done quite a lot in today's lesson. Big exam question there, but I really wanted to show you how just changing the command word could change it from an advantages, disadvantages question to an evaluate question. And if you don't pay attention to the command words, you're not going to be getting all the marks in the exams. So this was my last lesson on this channel. We've done 2 biology, 2 chemistry and 2 physics lessons. Biology lesson on osmosis, diffusion and active transport. Second biology lesson on enzymes. First chemistry lesson on the atomic structure and periodic table, and then second chemistry lesson on bonding, so drawing ionic and covalent bonding. First physics lesson on energy stores and transfers, lots and lots of math skills in that video there. And then this video we looked at production of energy, production of electricity, and we looked at how to answer 6 mark questions. So not only have we done lots of science, but we've also done lots of exam skills answering. All of these lessons are staying up for you to use in your revision now and later on. And yeah, bye guys. This is the final lesson, but all of the other ones are still up there for you to go and look at. If you scan the QR code here, then you can go and give feedback on this lesson to Pearson and tell them what you think.